Some analysts are warning that the influx of immigrants under the last administration could give Democrats an advantage in future elections after the 2030 census. The Center for Immigration Studies reports the nation's foreign-born population has ballooned to more than 15%, the highest level since 1890. 8 million foreign nationals moved to the United States during the Biden administration, including at least 5 million illegal immigrants. This comes as census data shows Americans are fleeing blue states like California, New York, and Illinois. Border czar Tom Homan had this to say on that last month.
We're spoiling their plans to have future Democratic voters and through a census have control of the House through a census vote. Democratic sanctuary cities get more seats in the House. This is their plan. That's why they overwhelm the system.
Here with his perspective is the former Trump-appointed U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Alabama, Jay Town. Thanks for joining us, Jay, on this Mother's Day. Back during the Biden administration, people were watching the flood of illegal migrants coming across the border and wondering what was the motive? Why was the Biden administration allowing it? You say you have the answer to that. What is it?
Well, and Tom Homan just gave it to you as well, John. This is a long game power grab by the Democrats. Ask this. Why did they let so many illegal aliens into this country so easily? And then now that President Trump is in the White House, why are they fighting so hard to keep them here in this country as illegal aliens? It's the census. To make them Democratic voters, that's going to take an act of Congress. If you're going to grant amnesty, that can't be done by a magic wand from the White House. But they can be counted. The core constitutional purpose of the decennial census, every 10 years, we got to count everybody, is to arrive at the actual enumeration, the apportionment of people in this country to figure out how many House members each state has and how many electoral college votes each state has. Well, think about your sanctuary states and cities. Where are they? They're in blue states. In the 2020 decennial census, California, Colorado, New York, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Massachusetts in 2010, they all lost congressional seats. One way to reestablish or restore the number of seats they have in the House and add to the number of seats they have in the Electoral College is to induce illegal immigrants to come to those states. And it's an unconstitutional advantage. It would be a distortion, John. It would be a distortion of the democratic principles for the number of seats in the Congress or Electoral College in a certain state to swell where the actual constituency has not. And I must say this last thing here. Illegal immigrants, they do have many rights in the United States, even while they're here illegally. It's just that being counted in the census for the purpose of apportionment is not one of them.
I want to read something from the Center for Immigration Studies. It's a bit long, but it makes the point that you're talking about. It says, if the census were taken in 2024, Democratic-leaning states would have 11 more seats due to immigrants in the census, while Republican states would have a net loss of 7 seats and battleground states 4 fewer. Including U.S.-born children of immigrants results in a net gain of 15 seats for Democratic states, while Republican states have 11 fewer and battlegrounds 4 fewer. By 2030, we estimate that immigrants in the census will cause Democratic states to have 10 more seats than they otherwise would have, while Republican and battleground states have 7 and 3 fewer seats, respectively. It's all based on population. It's all based on a head count, and you don't necessarily even have to be a U.S. citizen.
That's correct. The great thing, though, is that the census, the constitutional parameters of apportionment, it's actually a cascade of delegation. So it goes from the 14th Amendment in Article 1 to the Census Act to the Secretary of Commerce, in this case, Howard Lutnick, and then to the President of the United States to report that apportionment number. Congress can act with some very simple definitions and force the Secretary of Commerce, no matter who the president is in 2031, January 6th of 2031, when that census is reported, to carve out illegal immigrants for the lone purpose carving them out for apportionment, so that we don't have the distortion that the CIS was talking about there. Because you look at the narrow gap we have in the House of Representatives right now. If illegal immigrants are not either removed from this country entirely, or if they are counted in the 2030 for the 2030 census, Republicans will never have control of the House again, and they may not have control of the White House again because of the swelling of the Electoral College.
It's interesting, you know, that graphic we had in the introduction to this segment shows that states like California and New York and Illinois, very blue states, Americans have been fleeing them in droves, whether it's because of crime or high taxes or whatever. But it appears that you're saying that if you backfill those departing folks with illegal immigrants, all of a sudden they still maintain or even improve their representation in Congress.
If they're counted in the census, that's correct, John. And think about where Biden was flying those folks in, right? Keep the blue states blue and make the red states purple. I mean, that was the goal. This is all very deliberate. This is all very intentional. And like I've said, it is a long game power grab. It's not sexy. The census isn't something any of us think about really until we get it in the mail in April of this time 2030. But it's exactly the point, and it's very deliberate by the Biden administration and the Democrats.
Jay Town, former U.S. attorney for the Northern District of Alabama. Jay, thank you.
Happy Mother's Day to my mom and my lovely wife. Thanks, John.
You bet.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.